morning. Today I'll be sharing findings from a follow-up study that was conducted in 2019. This current research examined how a period of remote work affected musculoskeletal discomfort, physical activity, and computer use in a sample of traditional office workers who became remote workers during the COVID-19 pandemic. The issue we're ultimately trying to affect is the occurrence of musculoskeletal disorders. They are costly and common, which is not surprising. This discomfort can occur after just 2 hours of sitting, and this is not good news for the sedentary office worker population, which can sit for upwards of 15 hours per day. Now, there is a good amount of research on traditional office workers, but not so much on remote office workers. There was little research on this population before the pandemic, and even now, most of the remote worker studies focus on what happened to people during the mass lockdowns in 2020. We just don't have much data on how this period of remote work affected office workers now that they have had time to adjust to a new normal. In 2019, one of our studies aimed to see if physical activity, computer use metrics, and musculoskeletal discomfort differed based on what type of desk office workers used. The study provided the baseline data that we are using in this follow-up, allowing us to compare these metrics before and after a year of remote work. This current study, conducted in the fall of 2021, recruited participants from the same pool that completed the original study. This time, the research questions were focused on whether or not musculoskeletal discomfort, physical activity levels, or computer use metrics changed after a prolonged period of remote work. This follow-up study is focused on those same variables. Musculoskeletal discomfort could inform our understanding of how remote work relates to ergonomics at home. Changes in physical activity affect a host of health issues related to obesity and sedentary behavior, and computer use metrics are a way to understand if work quality suffered at all from working at home. It was hypothesized that a period of long-term remote work would create musculoskeletal discomfort due to potentially improper workspace setups at home. It was hypothesized that physical activity levels would be reduced since there could be less time spent walking in an office space. And it was hypothesized that computer use metrics would decrease as a result of non-ideal workspace setups. The study was conducted in the same style as the original. Recruitment was ongoing throughout the semester, and participants were scheduled for 2-week study periods as they had time. During this period, they provided data through 4 study instruments, and data analysis for these instruments was completed this past spring. A study questionnaire was administered at the beginning of the 2-week study period to obtain information like the remote workspace setup, office accessories they used, or caregiving responsibilities they had. They also had RSI Guard software added to their work computer. The software tracked computer use metrics like key clicks or double mouse clicks. During these 2 weeks, participants also wore a FitBit Charge 4 fitness tracker to monitor their step count. This is the only instrument that was changed from the original study when active file sensors were used. Those sensors were difficult to use and disliked by participants. The Nordic Musculoskeletal Questionnaire was administered at the end of the 2-week study period to collect data on discomfort in different body regions. For data analysis, descriptive statistics were calculated for all instruments. Additionally, a paired t-test was used to compare step count and RSI Guard metrics between 2019 and 2021. McNemar's test was used to compare Nordic musculoskeletal discomfort scores between 2019 and 2021. Of the 64 individuals who participated in 2019, several could not be contacted in 2021. So 53 individuals were contacted for recruitment. Multiple reminder emails were sent, and ultimately 16 individuals agreed to participate. Self-reported information on office furniture use showed that in 2021, more participants reported having used a sit-stand workstation, and more participants had footrests, monitor arms, and keyboard trays at their workstations. The same amount reported having anti-fatigue mats and currently using a stand-biased workstation. For RSI Guard software, 14 variables were analyzed for 14 participants, since 2 could not download the software. The paired t-test showed no statistically significant difference in these variables except for right mouse clicks. Overall, it appears that computer use remains stable after prolonged remote work. For the Nordic Musculoskeletal Questionnaire, the results of the McNemar's test showed that the change in self-reported discomfort between 2019 and 2021 was statistically insignificant for all body regions except the decrease in discomfort in the wrist and hands region. Three participants were removed from step count analysis due to missing active file data from 2019, and one was removed due to missing FitBit Charge 4 data from 2021. A paired t-test was run on 12 participants' data, and it was found that there was no statistically significant mean difference in step count after a period of prolonged remote work. Overall, the results suggest that computer use metrics, physical activity levels, and musculoskeletal discomfort were largely unaffected by a period of prolonged remote work. Even after working remotely for a year, once they returned to the office, individuals returned to pre-pandemic levels of productivity, activity, and comfort. Despite efforts to increase participation, the sample size remained too small to reliably draw conclusions from the results. Also, there could be seasonal effects in the results since the original study was conducted in spring and the follow-up was conducted in the fall. Finally, other effects like health issues or aging could have played a role in the results. The field does not have a lot of follow-up studies in its literature, and this study provides a follow-up of musculoskeletal discomfort in office workers. Additionally, it shows how office workers are performing after a period of crisis and not just during the worst of the pandemic. Finally, I would like to thank and acknowledge the Southwest Center for Occupational and Environmental Health, the Ergo Center at Texas A&M's School of Public Health, and Dr. Zogi from Texas A&M's College of Engineering for the financial support and research guidance that made this work possible. Thank you very much.